After my breakup, I encountered a cheerful and adorable angel. She said she would share a place for a week, but instead, she moved right into my heart. A girl with a huge suitcase was dragging it outside the door. She smiled, her eyes forming crescent shapes, showing off a perfect set of white teeth. Behind her, the golden sunset spilled across the hallway. It was so dazzling that I could barely keep my eyes open. It was the friend's place that the agent had mentioned earlier. The renovations required a temporary tenant for a week. I nodded and moved out of the way. My name is Su-Wan Ning. She confidently dragged her suitcase and slipped inside. I frowned a bit, almost unnoticed. My friend mentioned that you happen to have a free room. I really appreciate it. Don't worry. I'll just stay for a week. I promise I won't bother you. He patted his chest to assure me. He had a smile as bright as the sun outside. I nodded and pointed towards Kiwo, yet, for some reason, I felt a bit uneasy inside. I had just wrapped up a failed relationship. Feeling drained both physically and mentally, I decided to rent this secluded yet peaceful place. All I want is some time alone to enjoy the tranquility. Now, an energetic-looking temporary roommate has suddenly burst in, and they seem to be quite a troublesome temporary roommate, and staying for just a week. What is the use of that? Just when I was starting to get familiar, they're leaving, which only adds to the hassle. Forget it. I guess I have to give some consideration to the agent. Putting up with it for a week will just get me through. However, I clearly underestimated how troublesome this temporary roommate could be. On my first night here, I was just reading a book in the living room. I tried to block out the noises from the neighboring room, the sound of her off-key humming as she unpacked her luggage. Then, she appeared in a baggy t-shirt, featuring a cartoon bear. The hem barely reached her thighs. She walked barefoot, holding a steaming bowl of instant noodles, and casually strolled right up to me, then plopped down on the couch next to me. She even tucked her pale feet up on the sofa's armrest. He took a big slurp of noodles, mumbling indistinctly, "It is so lonely to eat instant noodles all by yourself. I'm just borrowing your living room to liven things up a bit." I watched him eat in such an ungraceful way. I couldn't help but notice his smooth calves. I noticed the footprints that might be on the sofa armrest. My temples are pounding. I just have to hold on for another week. I woke up this morning to find the kitchen in complete disarray. There are pots, bowls, and pans stacked up in the sink. The stove has grease stains all over it. There were even some vegetable leaves stuck to the wall. And the one who started it all was circling around my apron, singing happily. Inside, trying to dance along with the rhythm. Su-Wan Ning. I finally couldn't take it anymore. Even my voice sounded a bit distorted. She was surprised and turned around. She still had some flour on her face, like a cat caught in the act of stealing. He hurriedly put down the spatula he was holding. "Give me a sweet smile. Will you? I noticed your fridge is almost empty. I thought about making you a nice breakfast. But never mind." I took a deep breath. I held back my anger. "Please put my kitchen back to how it was right away." She pouted, looking a bit wronged, but she still started to clean up obediently. I came out, after my shower. Just as I was drying my hair, I heard a thud in the living room. I stepped outside to take a look. To my surprise, Su-Wan Ning was only wrapped in a bath towel. Her damp hair was still dripping with water. She just sprawled out on my sofa, like that. The edge of the bath towel barely covered the important parts. My mind went completely blank in an instant. My blood rushed to my head all at once. "Nini, what on earth are you doing?" My voice quivered a little as I spoke, and she looked up. She gazed at me with an innocent, yet slightly mischievous look. He still had a smile lingering at the corner of his lips. "Ning just got out of the shower and feels a little dizzy, wanting to lie down for a bit." Feeling dizzy. I think he's doing it on purpose. Then you should go lie down in your own room. I nearly shouted that out. My cheeks were burning up badly. "Hey, why are you being so fierce?" Not only was she unafraid, but she even gave me a wink. With a tone, I said Lin Hao, and he paused for a moment. All eyes are on me. They looked me over from head to toe, eventually resting on my tight abs. A result of my nervousness. Yes, even though I am a science and engineering type, I still take good care of my body. He moistened his lips like a sly little fox that has spotted its prey. Could it be that he is celibate? The word celibacy rang in my ears like a pair of thunderclaps. My face turned bright red, just like a boiled shrimp. My ears were burning too. "What nonsense are you talking about, Minnie?" I stumbled over my words in response. There was a slight panic in my voice that was hard to detect. "You should head back to your room." I was too scared to look at him again. He was barely dressed, looking vibrant and tempting. I was scared. I might act irrationally. I turned red, and Su-Wan Ning watched me in my awkward state. She didn't just hold back at all. but rather laughed even more happily. She even intentionally stuck out her chest. Even though she was wrapped in a bath towel, her curves were still clearly visible. I could hear my heart beating fast. I just wanted to find a hole in the ground to hide from this woman. Does she even understand what shame is? Okay, I won't tease you anymore. I can feel like I am about to blow up right here. He finally dropped that mocking expression. He sat upright from the sofa. He leisurely tucked the bath towel. I am going to dry my hair with a blow dryer. After saying that, she strolled away with a light step. She strolled away towards the bathroom. As she passed by me, she inadvertently swept her damp hair tips lightly across my arm, bringing a chill sensation and a stronger, richer scent carrying moisture. I felt as if I were frozen in place, like someone had cast a paralysis spell on me. Only after the bathroom door closed, I could hear the sound of a hairdryer from inside. It was only then that I snapped back to reality. Damn. That enchantress. It was from that day that I realized Su Ning's feelings for me were definitely more than just curiosity, or that he simply found me interesting. He was definitely flirting with me, and it was clearly on a very high level of flirting, making it clear that it is a trap, yet you can't help but feel drawn to it. He started to push my limits even further. She would put on my white shirt, claiming it is just sleepwear, can't find it, so I borrow it to wear, swinging it in front of me, the loose hem of the shirt, jiang, covering her thigh, two slender, fair legs. It is spinning me around and making me feel dizzy. She tends to be around while I am working. She comes over with a cup of coffee. Then she accidentally splashes coffee all over my keyboard. She hurriedly helps me clean it up. I unintentionally feel her touch on my hand. She messages me on WeChat in the late night. Lin Hao. I am afraid of the thunder. It's obviously clear skies outside. In short, there are all kinds of tricks, and I can't guard against them. I feel like a mouse that's being played with by a cat. Even though I know it's dangerous, I still find myself caught by its unpredictable, sometimes sweet, sometimes cunning, and sometimes, with a hint of vulnerability. It drives me into a frenzy, leaving me all mixed up. My once proud calm and rationality are completely shattered in front of him. I even find myself at night, needing a cold shower just to cool down the burning desire in my heart. I can't let it continue like this. If this goes on, I am bound to lose control sooner or later. I have to face him directly. She needs to move out right away, even if I have to pay a penalty. But just as I was about to muster the courage to talk to him, but he acted like nothing was wrong. He came up to me with a grin. He was holding a bowl of a dark and mysterious dish. Lin Hao, come try my new dark dish. I promise you'll never forget this for the rest of your life. As I gaze into her bright, sparkling eyes filled with anticipation, and the dish in the bowl giving off a bizarre smell, I held back the refusal that was right on the tip of my tongue. In the end, I had no choice but to bravely pick up the spoon. I found out that I might have really fallen for it, falling for this little mischief maker, who promised to stay for just a week, but won't leave, and who has turned my life completely upside down. It turns out humans really are creatures of habit. Even someone like me, who practices minimalism, someone who seeks absolute order and tranquility. After nearly a month of relentless bombardment from Su Ning, it has shamefully turned into a habit. I have gotten used to the kitchen not being cold and lifeless in the morning anymore. Instead, it's filled with the aroma of him making coffee or toasting bread, though he still sometimes leaves a mess in the kitchen. I've gotten used to coming home from work and not facing an empty room anymore. Instead, it's the figure on the living room sofa hugging a pillow, laughing out loud. Though the variety shows he watches are really loud, I've gotten used to the fridge being filled with nothing but my mineral water and frozen foods. Plus, it is stuffed with all kinds of snacks that she bought. There are also fruits and colorful beverages. I've even become accustomed to that chubby cat called Nian Gao. Every day, it comes to my room door at the same time. It rubs its furry head against my pant leg. Then, it shamelessly jumps onto my bed to sleep. This habit is quite scary. It feels like boiling a frog in warm water, gradually breaking down my defenses. And it confuses my boundaries. I can tell that something isn't right. She mentioned she'd only be here for a week. Now, it has nearly been a month, yet she hasn't shown any intention of leaving, and surprisingly, I've just gone along with it. No, this can't continue any longer. I need to remind her, and I need to remind myself too. We're merely temporary roommates. This absurd living arrangement needs to end. That evening, I gathered my courage and knocked on her door. She opened the door right away. She was wearing cute little bear pajamas, holding a bag of chips in her hand. Is Lin Hao, looking for something. He tilted his head and looked at me, still, munching on chips, like a little hamster. Seeing him looking so defenseless, and even a bit cute, the cold, hard dismissal phrases I had ready, suddenly, I found it hard to say them. I cleared my throat. I tried to keep my tone calm. Suwan Ning, you mentioned you would only stay for a week. He was stunned for a moment. Then, he showed a look of realization. He slapped his forehead. I would have forgotten. If you hadn't reminded me, my roommate has been here for almost a month. You really forget things easily, don't you? I struggled to find the words. So, shouldn't you start looking for a place to stay? She blinked her eyes, looking all innocent. Why would you need to look for a place? Isn't it necessary? Living here is pretty nice. He mentioned that the rent is low, and the location is great. The neighbors are pretty nice as well. He meant me. At least I still have rice cakes, keeping me company. Why do I need to move? But he interrupted me as he leaned in closer, those eyes that are always filled with a smile. But at this moment, they looked unusually serious as they gazed at me. Lin Hao, don't you want me to stay? Her voice dropped a little, with a trace of barely noticeable grievance. Do you find me annoying? Watching the light in her eyes fade in an instant, observing his cautious demeanor, an expression that seems to fear being abandoned. It feels like something has painfully twisted my heart. Those cold and rational words I had prepared. The words got stuck in my throat in an instant. I couldn't say a single word. Eventually, I heard myself say, in a tone that was almost a tone of compromise and helplessness, I didn't think you were annoying. Her eyes lit up instantly once more, like a star that has been reignited again. So you're saying I should just avoid looking at him? I can't bring myself to look into those incredibly bright eyes. His voice was a bit muffled. If you want to stay, then go ahead and stay. After saying that, I practically fled back to my room. I shut the door and leaned against it. My heart was still pounding, like crazy. It is all over, completely done for. I've not only gotten used to him being around, I even began to worry about her leaving. I guess I am really admitting it now, aren't I? You've been into that woman named Suwan Ning for a long time. The first time she came in wearing a big t-shirt and bare feet, holding a cup of instant noodles and bursting into your living room. The first time he showed you that kind of smile, like a little sun that melts away all the ice and snow. Your heart had already lost control for him without you even realizing it. You were just deceiving yourself all along, using the shadow of heartbreak as an excuse to keep your distance and disguise your feelings. Afraid of getting hurt again. You fear that if you open your heart again, you'll just be tossed aside like yesterday's trash. So you'd prefer to keep this awkward roommate dynamic. But you're too scared to take that next step. But when you notice her eyes dulling because of your rejection, but when you see her eyes fade because of your refusal, why does your heart ache so much? When you believe he's really about to walk away, why does your world instantly lose its vibrance? When you've grown accustomed to his chatter and her laughter, everything that makes her who she is, how could you possibly let him go? For real. I sat at my desk, gazing at the moonlight outside, sleepless through the night. I felt an unprecedented lightness in my heart. Yet, it was also a struggle like never before. My rational side tells me that Suwan Ning's background and intentions are uncertain. Could it really be that simple that she has a crush on me? Her approach to me is also full of calculations. A woman like that is too dangerous and not to be trusted. I need to distance myself from her as soon as I can. Yet my feelings are screaming uncontrollably. Don't let her go. Hold on to her tightly. You've become unable to live without him. Just when I was caught in an inner conflict, my ex-girlfriend Lin Man has once again reappeared, haunting me. I have no idea how she got my new number. She sent me a message that was extremely ambiguous. Hey Yenji, it has been a while. How have you been lately? I heard you moved. Send me your new address. I'll come visit you this weekend. Seeing that message made me feel nauseous. This woman didn't think twice before dumping me to aim higher. She left me scarred. Now, it looks like I am doing pretty well. And now, she seems to want to return. What does she think I am? Am I just a backup that she can call and dismiss whenever she wants? I quickly blocked her number. But this incident sparked something inside me. It ignited a deep-seated emotion I had long suppressed. It is a feeling of anger and resentment. It is a yearning to completely cut ties with the past. A longing to embrace a fresh start. I got up and headed to the living room. Suwan Ning was curled up on the couch. She was engrossed in a melodramatic romance drama. Holding a rice cake, she stomped her feet in anger at a certain scene. Her expression was vivid and lively. It was filled with the essence of everyday life. It contrasted sharply with Li Man's refined hypocrisy. It was entirely different from the scheming behavior. I felt a sudden sense of calm in my heart. I've also come to a decision. Let the past remain in the past. The person right in front of me is the present and future I truly want to grasp, even if he might actually have ulterior motives for me. Even if there are many challenges between us, I'm willing to accept that. I moved over and took a seat next to him. He seemed surprised that I would take the initiative. Momentarily taken aback, he instinctively shifted a little to the side. Are you watching this too? He awkwardly gestured towards the television screen. I shook my head without even glancing at him. I turned to him, my gaze serious. Su-Wan Ning, there is something I need to tell you. As soon as she heard what I said, Su-Wan Ning appeared somewhat anxious. She set the cat she was holding down. She sat up straight, looking at me as she took a deep breath. I gazed into her clear eyes, but there was a hint of curiosity in them. I summoned all the courage I could muster in my life. With these few words, I want to pursue you. The atmosphere became instantly tense. Su-Wan looked at me in a daze. It was as if she hadn't heard me clearly, or as if she was completely stunned. Her big eyes, always so lively and clever. At this moment, they were wide and round, brimming with disbelief. Nini, what did you just say? After several seconds, she just stammered as she started to speak. Her cheeks turned red at an invisibly rapid pace. Looking at his rare and adorable flustered appearance, the tension in my heart suddenly disappeared. What replaces it is an unprecedented certainty and gentleness. I reached out and gently held her hand, some cool little hands on the sofa. I looked into his eyes. I want to pursue you, clearly and unequivocally, word by word. Su-Wan Ning doesn't feel this way out of sympathy, nor out of gratitude, and it's not out of habit. It's because I hesitated. My voice was low, yet it held a kind of deep emotion that even I hadn't realized. I really like you. A lot. Her body shuddered suddenly. Her long eyelashes flitted like the wings of a startled butterfly, flapping rapidly. Her cheeks were as red as a ripe apple. She gazed at me, her lips twitching slightly. It seemed she had something to say, but couldn't find the words. Her eyes started to well up with tears. Seeing her, in this state, my heart felt like it had been struck hard by something. Feeling both bittersweet, this fool had clearly come on to me first. Now, he was completely flustered by my confession. I couldn't help but chuckle. I extended my other hand and softly ran my fingers through her silky hair. Why wouldn't I? I was just playfully teasing her. I still feel that a celibate engineer like me is not worthy of a charmer like you. It is not like he suddenly looked up to rebut urgently, with a voice tinged with a hint of tears. What is that? I gazed at him with tender eyes. I just looked down, my voice barely above a whisper. I just couldn't believe that someone like you would like me too. She always thought I disliked her and looked down on her. She always believed that all his affection was one-sided. Hearing his words felt like a needle, pricking my heart. She always appears so confident and cheerful. Deep inside, she also harbors insecurities and self-doubt. It's all my fault. My previous indifference and rejection hurt her. Silly me. I gently pulled her into my embrace. I rested my chin on her head. My voice was full of apologies and sorrow. How could I not like someone as wonderful and adorable as you? I was too oblivious. I nearly lost you. I'm sorry, Su-Wan Ning. She quietly leaned against me, not saying a word, but I can feel her tense body. The body is gradually relaxing. The arms wrapped around my waist tightened even more. I know that the hurdle in his heart has finally passed. We hugged for a long time, until the person in my arms suddenly let out a chuckle. She lifted her head, her eyes red but smiling like a little fox. Lin Hao, you said you like me, so how do you plan to pursue me? I was taken aback for a moment. I can't just talk without taking action, right? She glanced slyly, and that mischievous spark came back to her eyes. Winning a girl's heart takes genuine effort. Seeing her little look of being unyielding, I couldn't help but chuckle. I bent down to press my lips against her pouted lips. The next kiss was both gentle and commanding. Does this show that I am sincere? That kiss was like a stone dropped into a still lake. It created ripples between us, and it completely ignited the long-existing spark of ambiguity between us. Su-Wan Ning didn't push me away. Instead, she reached out and held onto my neck tightly. She awkwardly yet passionately responded to me. We kissed for quite a long time. It was so long that we both got a little dizzy. When we finally pulled apart, breathing heavily, he leaned against me, out of breath. His cheeks were flushed, and his eyes looked dazed, like a rose, even more beautiful and drooping after being drenched in rain. Just looking at him made my mouth go dry. So, does this mean I've finally caught his heart? He asked, in a soft and sweet voice, with a touch of mischief He asked, "What do you think?" I bent down and nudged my nose against his. "That would be too easy for you, right?" She pouted, but her eyes were shining bright. I watched his little expression that was so contradictory. I found myself unable to resist kissing him again. This time, the kiss was deeper and more intertwined. It felt like we were trying to wrap up all the pull and push from the past month. All the fluttering feelings and repressed emotions are encapsulated in this kiss. After a while of pure silence, we shared a smile. From that day forward, my relationship with Su Wanning finally became official. Even though we still share the same roof, we are no longer just awkward roommates, but sweet lovers. Our lives have changed dramatically because of this. The once bleak and minimalist rental apartment started to be filled with various colors that belonged to it. Pink pillows, adorable stuffed animals, brightly colored decorative artwork. I wasn't used to it at first. I thought these things disrupted the order and beauty of my space. But seeing him happily set up our little home, watching the room become livelier because of his presence, my heart slowly filled with a feeling called happiness. It turns out that home isn't just a physical space. What is more important is the people who live there. More importantly, it is the people who live there. She still occasionally gets into trouble. For example, learning to bake a cake. The result made the kitchen look like a disaster zone. For example, if you suddenly have the urge to knit me a scarf, the result was woven into a rag. But every time I see her looking either smug or self-satisfied, either a downcast and adorable appearance, I can't even get angry anymore. I can only helplessly smile and clean up the mess for her. Then he pressed a loving kiss on her forehead. It feels like she truly enjoys picking on me. He intentionally comes over to mess with me while I am trying to work. He either gives my face a pinch, or he snatches my mouse away. He makes me watch those idle dramas that I have zero interest in. And then he covers my mouth when I start to complain about the plot. He forcefully spoils the plot for me. Whenever I am feeling down because of my past, she sticks to me like a little sunshine. Whenever I feel down because of my past, she sticks to me like a little sunshine. Make me laugh with a joke, or just quietly hold me. Let Lin Hao know not to be afraid. He still has me. I know he is the one sent by heaven to rescue me. This angel, who struggles with social anxiety and social skills. Though this angel can be a bit mischievous and a bit domineering, and a little bothersome, but I willingly accept being tormented by him for life.